Tdtv, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl LaShia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet. You're the reason I wake up. The reason. What? You mean to tell me Think Different TV has their own merch website? I just don't believe it. What? They have hoodies, mugs, toddler tees, kid classic pullovers, bucket hats, stainless steel water bottles, woman comfort tees, crew socks, kids premium tees, baby onesies, even a premium cotton t-shirt for men. And what is that? You can use the code EARLYBIRD to get 5% off of your order. And if you have Afterpay, you can split the payments. Oh my gosh, like this is just unbelievable. What colors do we have? Ooh. Fancy.
Hey, you're watching my mommy on Think Different TV.
What is up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Think Different TV. Reminds me, I am your host, LaShia. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? How was your weekend? I hope y'all enjoyed. A little bit of technical difficulties with my Instagram. I wasn't able to get it up and running. I hope that a lot of my peoples just come on over to YouTube and come on over to Facebook. If you're on Facebook, watch me on Facebook. Twitch, what's up, Twitch? YouTube, what's up? Yeah, it's just been a lot of crazy things happening with Instagram. So with that being said, I guess we'll just figure it out another day. I had to start the show. So I was like, I cannot keep letting it time just dwindle on, you know? Hey, X Santiago, how are you? Thank you for joining Think Different TV, where minds meet. Guys, I'm going to run through this really quickly because we have a really, really great topic tonight. Very interesting topic, something that I feel needs to be discussed. Let me bring it up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So Black Magazine 31, King George is on the cover of this. He is the CEO of Black Magazine 31. He is shining a light on entrepreneurs, artists, people who are doing great things in the community. Make sure you support that young brother. He is out of Philly, Black Magazine 31. He is also holding his first ever award show in September. And he's already started the categories and the nominees and all that great stuff. So make sure you check him out. Black Magazine 31. This is the first issue that I was featured in. And then you have this one, which was the Women's History Edition that was released in March. We have the beautiful India Rose on the front cover. I was also featured in this one as well. So shout out to Black Magazine 31. King George, keep doing what you do. We have LL, Birth by the Code. His album is streaming on all major platforms and it's also available on YouTube if you want to give it a listen. I am on tracks 9 and 13 of Birth by the Code. So make sure you listen to it. 19 tracks, all fire, all fire. We also have Wise Choice Massage Therapy. That is my business. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I provide Swedish deep tissue prenatal and chair massage. If you're in the Philadelphia area or in Jersey and you are looking to book a session, make sure you book with me. You can contact me on IG at LaShia Star. That's LASHIASTAR. Make sure you go ahead and do that. All right. Just a reminder, Think Different TV is not just the wonderful show that you're watching right now. It is a network. It is a brand. And with the brand comes the lineup. The network has a lineup, y'all. So I want to just show that to you really quickly. And let's go.
Uh-oh, it's a CEO showdown. Who stood on business on this episode of Think Different TV's Player Pass? Find out by tuning in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel.
As you can see, we have In My Opinion, which is every Sunday between 4 p.m. No, my apologies. I'm jumping ahead of myself. In My Opinion by Think Different TV's LaShia is on It's Yours Radio. Shout out to my bros, Danielle and Beck. It's Yours Radio is every Sunday between 4 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Live 97.5 FM. And then my segment is at 5:15 and like right in the middle. So make sure you tune in. Live 97.5 FM is located in Salisbury, Maryland, or you can listen in on www.live975.com. You're tuning in right now to Think Different TV, which is every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel, on Twitch, on Facebook, and when Instagram start acting right on Instagram. I don't know what's going on, y'all. Shout out to my Tdtv fam all over the country. You could be anywhere, but you decide to be here with me. So, sending love to all of you guys. I want to thank you again because it's been a bumpy road. And for all of those who have been with me along the ride from the very beginning, shout out to you. Those who are just coming into the fold, hey, what's up? Choo choo. Thank you for joining the Think Different TV Choo Choo Train. Think Different TV could not be made possible without viewers like you and our sponsors. So let's show our sponsors some love like this.
I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business.
Shout out to Imitation by Jarrell. Queen been rocking out with me since the beginning of the show. And we're just going to kind of get into it, guys, because we're running a little bit behind schedule. Like I said, I have a lot of information to give y'all. I want to get back to the educating side of the edutainment because we've been entertaining. Now we got to get back to the educating. All right. So today is a very interesting topic. I hope y'all ready for it. Here it goes.
I'm coming in hot.
Not to be confused with forced marriage, in which one or both people do not or cannot consent to the marriage, and pressure or abuse is used to force them into the marriage. Arranged marriage is a type of marital union where the bride and groom are primarily selected by individuals other than the couple themselves, particularly by family members such as the parents. Sometimes a professional matchmaker is used to find the perfect bride or groom for the boy or girl. This is a practice that still goes on till this day. Remember Coming to America, where Prince Akeem was to have an arranged marriage, but he opted out because he wanted to marry for love. Though a fictional story, arranged marriage is very much a real practice. There are risks and rewards, advantages and disadvantages of the sort. And we explore it all. In this episode of Think Different TV, we take a look into arranged marriages.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye, bombastic. By so, I love you, baby. Oh, baby. Ah, baby. Oh, by so, I love you, baby. Ah, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, by so.
Husband and wife fight because of arranged marriage.
So guys, we're getting into it. We're talking about arranged marriages today. All right. So I'm going to go through a lot of information, but not so much that y'all will be overwhelmed. Okay. Because it was something that I really wanted to research and I wanted to look into because it happens every day. It happens every day in different parts of the world. And I was interested in this because I've seen videos and I'm just like, hey, how does that all work? How does it all work, right? So let's go. So you're probably like, LaShia, what is an arranged marriage? We're going to get into it right now. So let me take this off the screen. Arranged marriage, a marriage planned and agreed by the families or guardians of the couple concerned rather than the couple themselves. All right. Arranged marriage is a type of marital union where the bride and groom are primarily selected by individuals other than the couples themselves, particularly by family members such as parents. Sometimes a professional matchmaker is used to find a bride or groom for the girl or boy or girl, should be inverted or whatever. So arranged marriages have historically been prominent in many cultures. The practice remains common in many regions, notably South Asia and the Middle East. In many other parts of the world, the practice has declined substantially during the 19th and 20th centuries. In our country, arranged marriages have been quite popular in the past. And even in our current age, there are some countries in which the concept of arranged marriage is still practiced today. Now, what happens in an arranged marriage? So an arranged marriage happens when a third party becomes involved in choosing the spouse of another person. The third party can be classified as anyone as long as they are not serving as the bride or the groom. The third party facilitates the marriage between the bride and the groom. All right. Now, what are the rules? Now, arranged marriage is a common practice in many cultures and is not the same as forced marriage. In an arranged marriage, families may play a role in choosing the marriage partner, but both individuals are free to choose whether or not to marry or when to get married. Is it legal in the US? Yes, consensual arranged marriages are legal in the United States per US Citizen and Immigration Services. The government recognizes unions that are coordinated by families so long as both parties agree to the marriage of their own volition. All right. What is the purpose of an arranged marriage? Parents arrange child marriages to ensure their child's financial security and reinforce social ties. They believe it offers protection and reduces the daughter's economic burden on the family due to how costly it is to feed, clothe, and optionally educate a girl. The reasons for arranged marriages vary by culture, but they can generally be economic, political, or religious. Some examples include preserving cultural identity. In India, arranged marriages are seen as a way to maintain cultural and religious traditions within families and communities. This can help ensure that people find partners who value and understand their cultural values. Securing wealth and social status. Families may arrange marriages to secure wealth, property, and social status for their children. For example, in poor families, a daughter's marriage to a wealthier man can provide her with a higher standard of living and a dowry for the family. And then you have creating stable family units. Arranged marriages can create stable family units based on respect and duty where love can grow. Families that can consider compatibility factors when, I'm sorry, y'all can't see it with the thing going by. When making arrangements can help build a strong foundation for the relationship. All right, so let me backtrack a little bit because I already went through the purpose of it. I already went through what is arranged marriage and all that jazz. Now, here's the thing where it gets a little tricky. There are things called forced marriage where there are people that it could be arranged, but if one or both parties do not agree to it and they're pretty much being forced into it by abuse or anything like that, that is forced arranged marriage, or if or if they're just forcing people to get married, that's forced marriage, right? I have like mixed feelings about the whole arranged marriage thing. Part of me doesn't see it as a bad thing, and part of me sees it as a bad thing if somebody really is not in agreement with it and does not want to be in an arranged marriage and is a forced arranged marriage. I have a problem with that. But if it's just like if if both parties can benefit, which I'm gonna get into the benefits, if both parties can benefit and also they both agree to it, I don't see anything wrong with arranged marriages. I might want to arrange marriage myself. Somebody hook me up. So anyway, I know y'all probably heard that loud behind Philly. So anyway, you probably like, well, Kai or LaShia, you know, what are the pros of arranged marriages? Well, before I even get into the pros, I'm going to show y'all a quick video because I think some of these young ladies broke it down a little bit better than I could. But here we go.
This one is for the boys with the booming system. Top down AC with the coolest system. When you come up in the club, you be blazing up. That's
तेरी चाल लगदी तेरी हर अदा कमाल लगदी ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਟੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਪਲਕਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੂੰ ਕਰੀ ਚਾਵਾਂ ਸੋਣੀਏ ਐਵੇਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਆਵਾਂ ਸੋਣੀ
The demise of the arranged marriage is something that now, as I can look back, I actually think it was a really good thing. And I know it sounds bizarre. The reason I say this is because we as individuals overestimate our individuality and underestimate background and family and culture.
Okay.
So when we're looking for a person, we're thinking we connect, we get on. But the reality is you get on, but what will keep you getting on is if you have shared values, cultures, and beliefs. And when parents are selecting somebody, they're selecting that. They're selecting somebody who's got a similar background, similar kind of household, similar kind of family values, and they put you together. And so what happens when they put you together is when you run out of love, or when you get annoyed with each other, you have the same belief systems. So what happens is you find a common ground in some ways. Whereas when it takes, for example, I'm British, and then I meet somebody who grew up in Germany, and he's not from the same culture, nothing like that. Of course, we can really get on a surface level, but when push comes to shove, our values come into place, our culture comes into place. What do you think is normal? This is why people from different cultures end up, unfortunately, more likely to part, because the belief systems break down.
Okay.
And when you're finding a partner, we look for chemistry and connection, and really shared culture is important. And when I say culture, I don't mean the same ethnic background. All of these mundane things become more important as you develop in your marriage. And when you're selecting by yourself, you're not thinking about these things. So that's why I can understand why arranged marriages were a thing.
The Black community needs to implement arranged marriages, like ASAP. Just think about it. An arranged marriage is where your parents set you up with the right person that they believe is good for you and right for you. Because unfortunately, as women, Black women, we don't choose well. Like, we clearly see a lot of women sit around and talk about their situation that they made the same mistakes over and over again. Like you were dumb every single time. So you can't choose for yourself. Like, you don't have good judgment. So what if arranged marriages was a part of our culture? Like, imagine how would that change where we are today if we implemented that in our culture? Because in case you didn't know this, a woman told me it's not my business to worry about what my kids did in life, and it is my responsibility. It is my business. That's what a parent does. A parent is involved in ensuring that the children that you raise, right, they choose the best people for them. But they only know how to choose based on what you teach them, based on what you show them. And my husband and I would be foolish to not say anything. Because again, if you get married, right, the groom to be is going to come to your father for your hand in marriage, and your father has to say, yes, I think that, I think this is right, because he's going to then give his daughter away to that man. So to say it ain't his business or his responsibility But yeah, I'm gonna just give you away to somebody, and I have no knowledge. I shouldn't care. It doesn't make sense. I think arranged marriages would change a lot in our community.
So she had a really good point towards the end of that, where she talked about the guy going to the father to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage. Well, one thing that I hate that I gotta be so like thinking so far deep into it, but a lot of women don't, a lot of Black women, let's talk about our community, okay? A lot of Black women don't have the father figure in the home for the guy to go to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage. A lot of Black women don't. So it already starts how she grew up. Like, if we really want to break it down and everything like that, if we decided to start having arranged marriages in a Black community, it will be tough because a lot of people will not be picked. A lot of people will not be considered goods. A lot of people will be overlooked because of, first of all, what kind of status do you have in your home? You come from a broken home. Your parents are divorced. Like, that's a strike. And that didn't have nothing to do with you, right? But then socioeconomic status. You know, what is your family wealthy? Are they in poverty? That's gonna count you out. If y'all a poor family or in poverty, y'all gonna be overlooked. Because the whole thing about it is matching people with the best person for the situation, right? So you might fall in love, a woman might fall in love with a man and think the world of him, but he may not fit the qualifications of what the family wants, her family wants her to have. So right there, she's already like, dang, I can't even be with the guy that I love because my family is going to look at it like, no, what are you doing? It's the same thing that happened on Coming to America. Remember, Prince Akeem, he traveled to Queens to find his queen, right? And it was already an arranged marriage already set up. The young lady would have did anything for him, but he wanted a woman with her own mind, and he wanted to marry because of love, not because she was gifted to him or it was arranged, right? So he traveled out and he went to Queens to find his queen. And he ended up finding a young lady that he really took a liking to. But when you really think about it, and you don't think of it as the great movie that it is, right? And you don't think of it like, okay, we wanted him to find somebody that he was in love with, but let's be real. What was wrong with what his family was getting them to do? He traveled to New York to find someone that didn't share the same values, didn't come from the same economic background, didn't, like, it was a whole bunch of stuff that was not jiving, So I kind of like, as a young person watching the movie, I wanted them to end up together. I wanted him to be with Lisa. I wanted them to be happily ever after. But as a grown person, he went against tradition. He broke tradition to be with her. He broke tradition that has been set in place for years and years and years and years, hundreds of years, to get married to her. So at first, yeah, his dad and his mom his dad was dead set against it. Yo, we got this set up. And it was not just that the young lady was beautiful and everything like that, but also what she brought to the table as far as her dowry. Like, not the dowry that, it's just what she brought to the table. She was the daughter of somebody that was his ally. He also put the kingdom at stake doing that, because when he refused to get married to her and decided to go somewhere else to find a wife, I think they would have been okay and cool, because at first he was like, oh, you want to just go sow your royal oats? Okay, no problem. Go ahead and do what you're going to do. But he was like, no, I'm going there to find a wife. And I think his dad would have been better if, Lisa was just some jump off. I think he even said that in the movie. If she was just a jump off, and then he came back to Zamunda and got married to the girl, because that was ensuring that the bloodline, the African bloodline, stayed strong, that these two kingdoms were allies and one and the same. It was a lot at stake. And he was just like, I'm going to go and be with somebody else that really gets me and has her own mind and stuff like that. He took a real chance doing it. You feel me? And a lot of people were like, oh, he's so brave and da. But also, like, dude, you had everything set up for you. All you had to do was go with the plan, go with the flow. So adult me is like, you just made things hella difficult. Being a parent myself now, it's like, I done laid everything out for you. I done gave you everything. Everything. This girl has been raised to be your wife, raised to serve you as her husband. And you say, no, I want a woman who is going to question everything I do, who is going to give me a hard time, because I don't want an easy walk in the park. I don't know. Now I'm older and I'm looking at that like, dude, she was hopping on one foot for you, barking like a dog. Would have did anything for you. And you're like, nah, I'm all right. So in some cases, like, I get where he was coming from. He wanted somebody that he connected with. And there's nothing wrong with it. But you also got to realize that some things are put in place for a reason. And as an adult now, I understand where James Earl Jones' character was coming from. The King's, his, I see where he was coming from. All right. So let's look into, what are the pros of arranged marriages? What are the pros? All right. So, like I said just now, Prince Akeem pretty much had everything for him right there. Didn't have to do a daggone thing. Didn't have to pick his wife. Didn't have to do none of the dating or anything, trying to figure out, if person loved them, if they didn't love him. Like, he had somebody that was brought up to love him. So here we go. The pros of arranged marriage. Let me take this banner down real quick. Okay, so number one, strong family support. All right, arranged marriages come with a built-in support system, providing emotional and practical assistance throughout the marital journey. I would say in some cultures is more on the groom side than on the bride side, from what I'm seeing, just my observation. Again, this is just an opinion. What I'm saying to you, what I'm reading to you is pros based off of, people that actually went through it and that can tell you what the pros of arranged marriage are. But I feel like that whole built-in support system, once a woman gets married and she moves away from home, she might be in touch with her parents every now and then, but not really, because now she technically, that's like her husband, she's in her husband's home. So now it is like, but it all depends. It depends on the culture. It depends on the background, ethnic background, what which ones will allow her to still have that strong family unit, as opposed to, when they're like, well, I'm your husband and you really, but they say you have a strong family support. I guess that's because your family picked the people for you, so they're going to support your union because they picked it. All right, so when you go off, kind of like how I'm gonna keep using that as a reference. So kind of how like Prince Akeem went over to Queens to find his queen, and the family was against. Well, the dad was against it, and he looked like he would not give his blessing over their union because that's not what was supposed to happen. Okay, Prince Akeem was supposed to marry the other young lady, so if he would have married the girl that he was arranged to marry, everything would have been set in place for him. His father wouldn't be upset with him. The other kingdom wouldn't be upset with that kingdom. It could have went a whole different way, y'all. So the strong family support does come with an arranged marriage because your family pretty much picked the person for you. Number two, cultural compatibility. Shared cultural backgrounds contribute to a deeper understanding between partners, promoting a sense of belonging and shared identity. So here's the other thing, y'all. A lot of people talk about interracial marriages and how, how could it's people that feel very strongly about why Black people should not be with white people, because there's like, how can y'all ever relate? How can they ever relate to you being a Black person? How can you ever relate to them being a white person? Y'all come from two different cultural backgrounds. How could this be? How could y'all make this work? And there's people out there, more power to them, that are in interracial marriages that are able to make it work. But I feel like that also, like the young lady said in a video about, coming from two different cultural backgrounds, that y'all don't have the same values. So eventually down the line, like what might get y'all to the marriage might not keep y'all in the marriage. What gets y'all to the point where y'all get married might not keep y'all in the marriage. So y'all might have a bomb sex life, y'all may be attracted to each other, all these different things. But when it comes down to it, the values, when y'all start having children, do y'all have the same premise when it comes to kids? Does the person want kids? Do they not want kids? Sometimes when y'all have a cultural compatibility, it's like y'all also kind of want the same things for your family. So that's a pro of arranged marriage. Number three, financial stability. Families may consider financial compatibility, ensuring a stable financial foundation for the couple and reducing financial stress. Now, here's the thing with that, right? So that's why I say a lot of people, when they arrange marriages, they want it to be someone with the same socioeconomic background as them. Is when they arrange these marriages and they're looking for a mate for their child, they don't want their child to struggle. All right. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times there are people that, they don't want their children to struggle, but they don't know how to go about it other than making a way for themselves and then also making sure that their child has everything that they need. But once your child gets older and gets of dating age, gets of marrying age, do you always want to constantly make sure that they're taken care of financially? You should want them to have a partner when they get to the age of marriage. They should want a partner that can provide them the same thing that their parents provided them with. I'm not saying more. If they want more, they can want more. But if your parents provided all the financial stability, paid all this and did all this for you and everything like that, yeah, you want to go out and you want to go get it yourself too. But you also want to make sure that the partner that you end up with has the same type of financial values that you have, right? So the only way you can ensure that if you're arranging marriages is to make sure that you hooking that person up with another person that's on the same socioeconomic level, right? So here's another one. Cohesive social networks. Arranged marriages often come with pre-established social networks. This means that the couple enters into marriage with a community of relatives and friends familiar with both families' customs and traditions. This can facilitate a smoother integration into married life, providing a sense of belonging and connection. The existing social circles create a supportive environment for the couple, allowing them to manage the complexities of married life with the guidance of experienced individuals with common values and cultural backgrounds. Cultural backgrounds. So think about it. If I'm going to use the white-black scenario, so interracial marriage, white person, black person, all right, social network, all right, you start dating. I mean, it's a little bit more accepted now, but think about back in the day. Black was with black, white was with white for a reason, because if y'all was together, y'all get killed. You get what I'm saying? Because on both sides. Okay, I think black people was a little bit like they still gave the bombastic side eye whenever the person would show up to the cookout with a white person, right? But at least they wouldn't chase them down with pitchforks and try to hang them. You know what I'm saying? The thing about a black man showing up to a white family's dinner table with their white daughter, oh, you was gonna get killed. Okay, it wasn't accepted like that back then. Social networks. Let's say your husband. Let's say I get with a white man, right? He got a whole group of white friends, right? And I got a whole group of black friends. And I go to try to hang out with his sister, it is there's always going to be this uncomfortableness if you're not of the same cultural background. And it don't even have to be, skin color. It could also be social economic background. Because if this family is really wealthy and the dude decides to get with a girl that grew up poor or vice versa, that's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem. And then what's going to happen is that couple that's in love with each other but has no social network around them to support their union, they're more likely to not last as long. Now, sometimes it makes them strong and they say, you know what, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick by my man. The man say, I'm going to stick with my lady. And who cares if nobody is with it, because I love her. She loves me, and this, that, and the third. But let's be honest. A lot of relationships can't stand that pressure. A lot of relationships can't stand that pressure. So as soon as it gets to the point where the guy can't even call up his friends because they like, you know, you pretty much got the plague now because you're with a female that they don't agree with you being with, and and the same thing on the other side, and you're getting cast out, and you're like, dang, I lost all my friends, and then this and third, and then like you really like y'all really gotta work together to stay together, because then there's nobody rooting for y'all. Y'all gotta root for y'all. You get what I'm saying? So it makes it a little bit tougher to stick and stay in that relationship. Here we go. Community harmony. Arranged marriages align with community expectations, contributing to social harmony and reducing societal judgment. Just like I said, you know, you won't have the people looking like, what? When she get with a white dude, or when did she get with a black dude, or you won't have all of that side chatter, because everybody. And then it's not just, like I said, it's not just the race thing. It's also, you know, why she get with that bum? Why he get with that bum? Like, you want to eliminate that side chatter. So a lot of times arranged marriages help that stuff die down. Number 6, efficient matchmaking. Families engage in efficient matchmaking, considering a range of factors to identify compatible partners. So they're not just I would hope that these people are not just throwing people together. They're like, and then sometimes they will even let the other person know, hey, if they were arranging a marriage between a man and a woman, they would say, well, you know, she really likes this. You know, give them little clues and hints as to what the other person likes, so they would be put on game before they even meet them. You feel me? So it's no different than, you know, going on Match.com or Christian Mingle, or, you know, only you're not doing it yourself. You know, it's somebody making sure that they're matching you. So it used to be stuff like eHarmony.com. It used to be actual sites where they pair you up with somebody, and based on what you put in and stuff like that, and they try to match people the best way they can with their compatibility. Number 7, less pressure on individuals. The collective effort in finding a life partner shared between the individual and their family can reduce personal stress and decision-making burdens. And number 8 is preservation of traditions. Arranged marriages help preserve cultural traditions and customs, passing them down through generations. So let's talk about the one before that. Let me look at it again. Okay. So the whole dating process. The dating pool is trash. Somebody peed in the pool. You get what I'm saying? It's hard for us to find somebody that we're compatible with, right? If you have somebody helping you with finding that mate and saying, no, then it don't seem like you ever reject somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you're the worst person ever. How could you reject me? I'm the greatest thing ever. If you have somebody there backing you, like, we're rejecting you. They're like, yo, why are you? Because X, Y, Z. And you're not clouded by, like, you might look at females and males, we're visual people. We like to see you and see if the guy looks good, if a woman looks good, we're attracted. You know, a lot of people make dumb decisions based off of what they see, right? So that matchmaker, they see it past all that. They not fooled by the smoke and mirrors. They're like, listen, he looked cute, but this, that, and the third. He ain't got no job. He got like 4 babies, about 3 different baby mamas. He got this, that, third. They could break it down to you in such a way that you're like, you know what? I don't have the rose-colored glasses on anymore. I see what the matchmaker sees. And so now they could be like, you know what? I pass. You feel me? And preservation of traditions, of course. You know, is certain traditions like remember when On Girlfriends. Girlfriends, Tony married a white guy, a white Jewish guy, and she's Christian, right? They end up having a baby with him. And then, like, they was wondering how the baby was going to spend the holiday. Is the baby going to do Hanukkah, or is the baby going to do Christmas? It was confusion. But when everybody shares the same cultural backgrounds and values, it makes for a better holiday. It makes for, like, because everybody do the same thing, right? So there you go. Preservation of traditions. And there's other traditions. I'm not really aware of other cultural traditions. I know about my cultural traditions, and I would like it if I got with somebody that shares the same cultural traditions that I do. All right. Number 9, relationship stability. There is an increased commitment to solving issues, contributing to long-term relationship stability. Number 10, shared life goals. Arranged marriages prioritize compatibility and life goals beyond romantic attraction, promoting a shared vision for the future. And number 11, established social networks. Arranged marriages come with established social networks, providing a ready-made support system and community for the couple. All right. So all of those are great pros, right? Let me see if anything is different. I think this was gone through higher level experience of parents. Oh, this is a good point. Since parents have much more life experience than their kids, they might also be better able to decide which partner might fit for their girl or their boy and which would not. Hence, it would make sense that parents get involved in the decision-making process regarding potential life partners, since they often know their children quite well and often know what's good for them. Assurance of social status. Arranged marriages also have the advantage that they can assure a high social status. All right, so those pretty much are the pros. Parents have more experience in life. They're able to better pick for their kids. They know their kids and they know what their kids need. And a lot of parents don't care what you want. They focus on what you need. My kid can tell me all the time, Mom, I want candy. But I know he needs to eat some type of protein, vegetable, and starch. and if you leave it up, and I'm that's a good metaphor. Like, as far as arranged marriages, the pros of arranged marriages. You know, if you leave it to some of these people's own devices, they will eat candy for the rest of their lives. All it's going to do is help them develop a sweet tooth, diabetes, high blood pressure, and I really want to stress the bad teeth. All right, the bad teeth, definitely. You get what I'm saying? And what arranged marriages does, because let's say the candy is the partner, right? So you leave it up to a kid, they gonna eat candy. If they love candy, they're gonna eat candy. That's all they're gonna eat, right? By you coming in and being the parent and saying, yo, you need protein, you need a starch, you need a vegetable. That's saying, like, you need someone who is financially stable, someone who shares the same values, someone who, can with marrying them comes a strong community of people to back you. They gonna keep, if you don't intervene for some people, they're going to make the wrong decision. They're going to eat candy over and over and over and over again. But the arranged marriage serves as that meal that you're feeding your child, to make sure they have sustenance, to make sure they don't pass out, make sure that they don't get cavities. You feel me? And sometimes we can see things in people, as a parent myself now, Like it's certain that now I'm not advanced like my mom and my dad or even my grandma. My grandma cut through all the crap. You get what I'm saying? My mom's still trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, but she cut them if she need to. I'm not there yet, but I know that I'm going to get there one day where I'm going to sit up there and be like the person could say, hi Miss Smith, and I'm be like, I don't like that kid. I can't put my finger on what it is about him or her, but I just don't like them. And call it divine intervention, because that person might be the worst thing that ever happened to your child. And you want to make sure you protect them from that person. So when it comes to the pros, I'm like, okay, you're making a little bit of sense, a lot of sense actually. Arranged marriage may not be the worst thing out there. All right. Now, you probably like, all right, you gave us the pros, but what's the cons of arranged marriages? Well, let's get into it. I'm going to play this video and hopefully y'all like it. Here it goes. I'm just gonna play these. Well, I'm play this one. Yeah.
This is what happens when you get married in an arranged marriage. From the first time he set his eyes on me, I knew he didn't like me. Because he wanted a virgin, and our parents were very close. He had no choice but to marry me. I was very excited to marry him because I thought he was attractive, and also thought that along the way he will learn to love me once we lived together. On our wedding day, he told me that he would never touch me, that I'm not touchable. For months we slept apart, so I called his parents and told them how we haven't slept together not even once. And that's because they were asking why I haven't got pregnant. After his parents talked to him, he asked me to move in his bedroom. When he finally touched me, I got pregnant despite him calling me ugly every day. I still did my duty as wife. After the baby, he told me to move out his room because I am too ugly for him. That he will never have another baby with me. It's been 8 years in my marriage, and I have only been touched once.
Whew. Lord, 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 lots to unpack there. All right. So when it comes to the cons of arranged marriage, when people are arranged in marriage and they both agree to it, sometimes these people are going sight unseen. Y'all ever seen marriage at first sight? That's like, let me take this off the thing because I wanna look y'all in y'all eyes. I want to look y'all in your eyes when I break this down to y'all. All right. So when it comes to marriage at first sight, that is a perfect example of arranged marriage, consensual, that can have pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages, because you're going sight unseen. The show try to do a good job of matching you with your partner and your compatibility and everything like that. Sure, y'all might have different values and all this different stuff, but the main things that matter, they make sure that the other person has. So they try their best to be matchmakers, and then the day that y'all get married is the day y'all get married. Y'all basically signing your marriage certificate right then and there. Okay. Another show, Love is Blind. Now, see, Love is Blind is different though, because you get a chance to talk to the person, find out what their values are and everything, sight unseen. And then the ultimate goal is to eventually get married to this person. So let's go back to marriage at first sight, because I think it's more related to the topic for tonight. Arranged marriages by matchmakers and then you show up and y'all get married. All right. But it's been a lot of horror stories that came out of marriage at first sight. I mean, it was a horror story where a woman, she walking down the aisle, she walking towards the guy. The guy's like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. He's like, I lucked out. I'm the luckiest man in the world. And she's walking down the aisle like, he's so ugly. Oh my gosh, like, why did I agree to this? I don't even like, I don't like anything about him. Da, 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 da. And yeah, that's a big con. You want to at least be attracted to the person that you're getting married to, right? But a lot of times when it comes to arranged marriages, because some parents, they're more focused on the needs of the person, they forget that you may want to be attracted to the person too. So let's get into the cons, all right? So limited personal choice. Individuals may have minimal say in choosing their life partners, leading to dissatisfaction and unmet personal preferences. Like I said, how they look, the attractiveness is just not hitting. You know, you like, what the freak, who is the creature that's trying to talk to me? Like, who is this? And you know, and he's all like not cute, and the same thing with a guy might be like, yo, she is not a baddie, you know, she just looked bad. Like, what happened? Like, my parents know what I like in a few, but they probably like, I know what you like as far as your preference as how they look, but all the girls that look like that, they don't have half of what this young lady has. This lady might, you know, she's willing to submit, she's willing to cook and clean and do all these things for you. She's willing to birth your children for you. Some of these baddies that you're trying to be with, they don't want to have no kids. They don't have the same values. They want to be out in the streets. So yeah, you know, it's very limited personal choice. When you go into arranged marriage, you're opting for someone to arrange a marriage for you, and you not really having much of an input or say in who they choose. All right. Number two, chance for forced marriages. Forced marriages are when one or both do not agree to the marriage, the union, and they're being forced into doing so, getting married by force, abuse, or threats or whatever, like a shotgun wedding, pretty much. In extreme cases, familial pressure might compel individuals into unions against their wishes, resulting in emotional distress or emotional damage. All right. Number three, initial lack of emotional connection. The absence of premarital emotional bonds may necessitate more effort to develop a connection, leading to the challenges in the early stages of marriage. So you meet this person and you have no emotional connection to them. You don't know them. You don't know how to feel about them. You feel me? So you got to learn to love this person that you are now about to marry. All right. Number four, pressure to conform. This is where I think Prince Akeem was coming from. Like, he felt like he was being pressured to conform to the traditions of the Munda, and all of these pressures was like, I don't like it. I want to be with somebody that I vibe with. So expectations to conform to familial and societal norms might stifle individuality, causing stress and feelings of constraint. Constraint. So people who are really big about their individuality, they don't want to lose that in a sea of conformity. So they're going to buck, they're going to rebel. They're going to say, I don't want to be a sheep. You know, I don't want to perpetuate the same things over and over again. And I don't want my kids to go through this because this is terrible. And then, you know, they say, I don't really want to be married to somebody, you know, who, you know, we're just getting married because that's what our parents want us to do. Like, get out of here, you know? Number 5, compatibility risk. The emphasis on family and cultural compatibility may need to pay more attention to individual compatibility, raising a risk of misunderstandings and conflicts. So again, I think it mostly has to do with the attractiveness between the two parties, because I think in a lot of cases, men and women that are in arranged marriages, that, you know, it's sad, but a lot of times when these arranged marriages are happening is when they're like in their early 20s, you know. So and this is the people that are getting married to somebody that's the same age as them. So it happens around like their 20s and stuff like that. So they may not be compatible, or you might have a woman that's very headstrong, but they also realize, like, this is the culture that I'm in. Real quick, there's a show called Never Have I Ever. So the family on there is Indian. All right. Great show, by the way. Love the show. All right. It's not at all what I thought it would be. You know, like, at first I was like, but then it was like, I was like, this is a really good show. All right. So the cousin that comes to stay with the main character and her mother, because just to give you some background, the mother, the young girl who is the main character, her dad passes away at a recital she was doing. So it was like traumatic all the way around, because the dad had a heart attack and died, and she was up on stage about to do her recital. It was crazy. So it was just her and her mom. And when the dad passed away, it was like the mom, when the dad was alive, it was like the daughter had more of a bond with her dad. So when he passed away, the mom and the daughter had to build a connection. All right. That wasn't there for a long time, because anytime she needed, the young girl needed to talk or vent or whatever, her dad was the person she went to, you know? And so now she didn't have that, nest anymore. She didn't have that blanket anymore. She had to go to her mom, but her mom was very like, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes she was acting like a little bit of a bee, you know, like, you know, she had her expectations for her daughter, that her daughter, you know, like her daughter is super smart, getting straight A's, all the stuff, was harder on herself than her parents could ever be. But her dad lightened the load on her heart a little bit, because her mom was always like, gotta learn, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Her dad was the fun parent. So anyway, I'm getting a little off track, but like I said, they're an Indian family. So the cousin comes and stays with the mom for a while, because I think she's going to school or something like that. She wanted to go to school in the States. So she comes over and she's attending school and this and the third. But later on in the seasons, the grandmother, who is not the mom's mother, I think it was, sorry guys, not the mom's mother, but the dad's mother, I think she came, and she was really big on the cousin. About, now the mom loved the cousin, because the cousin was like doing everything that she wanted her daughter to do. like she wanted her daughter to be a certain way and embrace their culture more, but the cousin was like doing it and the mom was like over the moon for her, right? So the grandmom comes and the grandmom is like, you're getting older, you need to get married, talking to the cousin. And she had several, uh, she had two guys actually that was like, they wanted, she was beautiful. So they was like, oh yeah, definitely. So she had a suitor, and then something happened and that fell through. And then another guy, you know, he was compatible, and she was like, okay, I can handle this. But then she started liking the girl, her cousin, the main girl, her teacher is Indian too. So, but he's like this cool Americanized Indian, like he's just like, he's like the cool teacher. And you know, the main girl, she loves him, you know, as far as like a teacher and everything like that. And I think once they met, the cousin and the teacher, they was like, we can have fun with each other, we can laugh, we can do all this stuff. And he's Indian, this is a plus. But socioeconomic status played a big part in why the grandmother did not want the cousin to be with the teacher, because she knows that American teachers don't get paid a lot of money. And she's like, he's not gonna be able to take care of you like you need to be taken care of. Like, what you talk about? Like, and she had a guy. Yeah, she had a guy that was, they was clicking too. But she just always felt like she wanted to be with the teacher. So Never Have I Ever is a great show. And it also shows you a lot about Indian culture without it being overly, like, you get what I'm saying. What's her name? Mindy Kaling, the young lady that was on The Office. I think she's the writer of the show. So let me see what. So compatibility, that's what we're talking about. um I think it was compatibility. Yeah, compatibility. Yeah. So the thing about it is that the grandmother wanted her to be with this guy, and even though she liked him, she felt like she was more compatible individually with the teacher. So it made a little bit of a clash. You get what I'm saying? But the kind of arranged marriages is that the grandmother was like, at one point she was like, listen, if you choose to be with this teacher, I pretty much disown you. I will write you out of my will, pretty much, because it's that deep. It's that deep. All right. Communication gaps. Lack of prior relationship experience may result in initial difficulties in communication, hindering a development of a strong marital bond. All right. Unequal power dynamics, gender inequality. Traditional gender roles may persist, resulting in unequal power of dynamics and limited opportunities for personal growth. Interference from extended family. The involvement of extended family members, family members in decision making may lead to unwarranted interference, impacting the couple's autonomy, right? So I know it was a lot that I just threw at you. Communication gaps, unequal power dynamics, interference. Okay, communication gaps. So when there is a communication gap, sometimes when arranged marriages happen, and they're made within the same, like they might have the same cultural background, everything like that, but they may not speak the same language, like the same language, and they may not speak the same like language as far as value, love and all this different stuff. You might have somebody that's really brash and or very sarcastic. And then you got somebody that's really sweet and bubbly, and then they trying to be together, and then they clash on that. Then you got the unequal power dynamic where there's a lot of, in this case, it'd be like the man, like, I am the head, I am this, I am that, I'm this, I'm that, and you have no say. And in a lot of cultures that is accepted because that's the way it is. You feel me? But there is a might be a woman that is very headstrong that's like, listen, you're not gonna just be talking to me on any type of way. Like, I agreed to this arranged marriage, but I did not agree to be abused verbally. You feel me? So that is definitely a con. Um Also, or check this out. Or it may be that the woman is very headstrong and she's very like, I got your balls in a vice, and the guy is kind of like, well, it's arranged marriage, and if I don't marry her, like, I might be written out of a will. So, I don't want to lose my money. So I'm gonna be with her, but she's a biddy. You feel me? So yeah. And then the other one was unwarranted interference and all that stuff like that. Well, of course, if you have somebody arranging your marriage, they're gonna always have a say in how you are in said marriage. Sometimes it don't even end with the arranging of the marriage. Sometimes those people want to be in every aspect of your marriage, from when y'all get married, when y'all gonna have kids, oh, why y'all raising y'all kids like that? Oh, they want to be there every step of the way because they feel like they put this together and they want to see it through to the very end. All right. Um, and then this is the last, it's like two more, and then I'm pretty much done. All right. So limited exposure to different lifestyles. So individuals may miss out on a chance to explore diverse lifestyles, potentially limiting personal growth and development. 10, expectations to please families. The pressure to prioritize family expectations over personal desires can create internal conflicts affecting mental and emotional well-being. So, depression, your mental health might be affected. You might start drinking and, self-medicating yourself because it's the only way that you can get through being a part of this arranged marriage. Number 11, lack of individual agency. Decision-making authority regarding the marriage may be concentrated in the hands of family members, reducing individual agency and autonomy. And number 12, emotional strain. The lack of personal choice and potential mismatch can lead to emotional strain within the marriage, necessitating extra effort to build emotional intimacy. So you might not be wanting to even do the huckabuck with this dude because, or vice versa, because you had no input into who you are with, and that can make for a very dull sex life, which can also be a contentious event within your marriage. And then you have the limited exposure to different lifestyles. So you may want to travel, you may want to experience other things. You can't really do that if your life is already planned out for you to be with somebody, and you'll pretty much be stuck where you're at forever. And a lot of people don't want to be stuck forever in a certain situation. They want to explore and do other things, and they want to experience other cultures, and not necessarily experience other people within those cultures, but just experience other cultures. And when you're in an arranged marriage and it's set from when you're a little kid, it's not possible, unfortunately, especially for women. Like, a man could take a trip, like I said, the dad on Coming to America, James Earl Jones, he said, okay, you want to go to New York to sow your royal oats before you get married? Okay, no problem. You know, gave him his blessing, you know, because that was okay. But let the young lady say, I don't know if I want to be married just yet. Let me go here. No, because you were raised to be a wife. You were raised to be his wife. So you can't travel. You can't do none of that stuff. What? Go to school? Why? You're going to be married to the prince. You get what I'm saying? They will try to stop you from growing. There's try to stop your growth, try to stunt your growth, try to keep you in a certain mindset forever so they can perpetuate this whole idealism of arranged marriage, and they don't want you to be influenced by anybody else. So getting real deep into the cons and starting to make the arranged marriage not like look too good, right? But here's the last two. Chance for a loveless marriage. Arranged marriages can sometimes lack the initial romantic foundation, requiring intentional efforts to nurture love and affection. And then number 14, risk of marrying for the wrong reasons. Societal and familial expectations may lead individuals to marry for reasons other than genuine love, resulting in dissatisfaction. So think about it. You know, they have their own agenda when they set y'all up. And then you're like, well, damn, I didn't think I was gonna be marrying them because okay, Wendy Williams brought this up, but she talked about the whole thing with Stephen Baldwin and Haley Baldwin and Justin Bieber, and how pretty much Stephen kind of ushered his daughter over to ushered her ushered her over to Justin Bieber so that, you know, it could secure his socioeconomic status, because Stephen Baldwin didn't have that much money. And a lot of people, after, you know, Wendy made her claim, it's like, is this dude pimping it? Did he pimp his daughter out? But there's a lot of people that do that. Kris Jenner pimped out her daughters. There you go. You know, so it's all to preserve, but they was just like, they pretty much was like, if you're going to marry a guy with money. You cannot bring Trevor from Trader Joe's to my house, talk about something you in love with him. Nope, not gonna happen. It all had to be people that was of a certain status that they had to bring home. All right. It was one here, the dating period. Many of us also really enjoy dating many different people until we find a partner that best fits our preferences. However, it is only possible to decide who fits us if we get experience in dating. Hence, if this experience is missing, plenty of fun is taken out of all of it. And also the chances for a misfit will become much higher. All right. So some people like, you know, splashing around in the pissy pool. Hey, y'all got it. Me personally, I'm not really dating right now, but because, like I said, the pool is pissy. But there's people out there that they want to have the chance to weigh their options. They want to explore and see if there is compatibility with someone who doesn't have the same cultural background that they do. And when arranged marriages are in play, that eliminates it. There is no dating. There is none of that. Because your partner's already picked. And some people like dating. You know? They like a free meal. So there you go. That is a con, right? If you are somebody that enjoys dating and trying to find somebody you're compatible with, you may see a problem with arranged marriages because that takes the dating right out of it. All right. So let's wrap this up. LaShia, what are the risks of arranged marriages? Well, there are many risks, but there is one that I want to share with y'all. It is a doozy. It's worst case scenario, and it's going on right like this.
In bustling Bethnal Green, East London. Mohammed Dilwa Mia marries Mahmouda Khatun in a marriage arranged by their families. 150 guests attend the wedding.
Everyone who knew Mia spoke of a quiet, unassuming man who lived for his marriage, his work, and his faith.
Meanwhile, friends were confused that Mahmouda Khatun had agreed to marriage with Amin. Perhaps she simply felt that she could no longer say no to her parents.
Time eventually ran out for her, and she had to say yes.
She did, however, feel some degree of warmth towards Mohammed. He was the best of the bunch, she thought, and she felt that maybe in time she could learn to love him.
A dowry of £10,000 was agreed. Amin paid £4,000 to Mahmouda's parents, with the rest to follow. Mahmouda moved her belongings out of her bachelorette pad in Liverpool Street and made the journey 2 miles east to Amin's flat in Bethnal Green. It was a place he'd redecorated especially to please his new wife. Amin was happy to settle down. He wanted Mahmouda to be happy, and he went to a great deal of effort to make sure that their marriage would work.
Mahmouda claimed that Mia had objected to her working and having a career.
Amin wanted Mahmouda to quit her job, but this was something she was not prepared to accept. In bustling Bethnal Green, East London. Mohammed Dilwa Mia marries Mahmouda Khatun in a marriage arranged by their families. 150 guests attend the wedding.
Everyone who knew Mia spoke of a quiet, unassuming man who lived for his marriage, his work, and his faith.
Meanwhile, friends were confused that Mahmouda Khatun had agreed to marriage with Amin. Perhaps she simply felt that she could no longer say no to her parents.
Time eventually ran out for her, and she had to say yes.
She did, however, feel some degree of warmth towards Mohammed. He was the best of the bunch, she thought, and she felt that maybe in time she could learn to love him.
A dowry of £10,000 was agreed. Amin paid £4,000 to Mahmouda's parents, with the rest to follow. Mahmouda moved her belongings out of her bachelorette pad in Liverpool Street and made the journey 2 miles east to Amin's flat in Bethnal Green. It was a place he'd redecorated especially to please his new wife. Amin was happy to settle down. He wanted Mahmouda to be happy, and he went to a great deal of effort to make sure that their marriage would work.
Mahmouda claimed that Mia had objected to her working and having a career.
Amin wanted Mahmouda to quit her job, but this was something she was not prepared to accept.
He wanted an obedient wife, a woman that would cook and clean for him and bring up their children. She wanted balance, she wanted fairness, she wanted a life in which both she and her husband could respect each other. But it was only a few days before she realized that was just a pipe dream.
It was clear that in the very short time that the couple had been married, things were already going horribly wrong.
But she'd made her choice. She'd married Amin, and now she had to see it through.
The couple had only been married for 4 weeks when the police were called to a flat in Bethnal Green on the 9th of August.
The police received a phone call. She was claiming that she was locked out of her flat, but that she could smell something burning on the stove.
She'd left her keys at work, she couldn't get into the flat, and she couldn't get hold of her husband. Worse, she'd looked through the letterbox and seen blood on the walls.
Mahmouda contacted her 2 brothers and told them that she needed their help because she couldn't get into her flat. The brothers came, they tried to help her.
When police arrived at Hadley House, Mahmouda was panic-stricken, distraught. Her brothers were almost as distressed. The siblings had apparently just made a horrific discovery that confirmed their worst fears for Amin. This is the story they told.
All three looked through the letterbox and they saw Amin's body lying in the hallway, blood-soaked. There was blood everywhere.
At first, Mahmouda's story seemed to stack up. What she said was that after work, she'd travelled to Liverpool Street and gone to visit a friend at the hostel that she'd moved out of just a few weeks before.
To corroborate her story, Mahmouda gave the name of a friend that she said she had been with from 7:30 until about 10:30.
Mahmouda tells police that she had then bid goodbye to her friend Slava and taken a taxi from Liverpool Street to Bethnal Green. On arriving at Hadley House, she realised that she didn't have her keys, and that was when her alleged nightmare had begun.
Eventually, the police asked her for her mobile phones and she handed them over. And perhaps naively, she hadn't understood that the mobile phones would tell a story of their own.
The evidence they found on those phones completely dismantled Mahmouda's alibi that she'd been in Liverpool Street for hours before arriving at the flat.
And it was discovered through cell site analysis that the phones had moved in a way that brought Mahmouda very close to the place of the murder at the time that it had happened.
One of these phones actually pinged at a mast right by that flat. Her false story was beginning to unravel.
The police interviewed Slava again, the friend who lived at Fidelis' house, who had been so adamant that she'd spent the evening talking to Mahmouda.
She confessed. She said she'd lied in her first statement to the police, and that they had only been together for a few minutes as opposed to the hours that Mahmouda had claimed.
Police were able to build a timeline of Mohammed Amin Mia's final moments. Returning from prayers at the nearby mosque, he used his key fob to enter the main door at Hadley House at 8:57 p.m. Mahmouda was already waiting. She had entered the flats just 1 minute before, at 8:56 p.m.
She used her key fob to access the exterior door of the property, and then it seems she waited somewhere between the exterior door and the flat itself. That's the moment at which she called her husband to see where he was.
That call, lasting 24 seconds, was made at 9:06 p.m. It was the last call Amin ever took.
Very soon after she accessed the main flat building, her husband's key fob was used. At this point now, Mahmouda has her husband where she wants him, in the flat where nobody can see them.
She went up to the floor where the flat was and knocked on the door. Her husband came to the door unsuspectingly. And when he opened the door, within a matter of seconds, she had plunged a knife straight into his heart. He bled to death in the hallway of their home.
She left the flat and threw the knife away.
Once the evidential trail took the police directly to Mahmouda Khartoum, they got her back in, this time as a suspect. She was arrested for the murder of her husband. When she got into the interrogation with the police, she closed up. She refused to answer questions. The police put the evidence to her, but she had nothing to say in response.
Mahmouda Khartoum was found guilty by a majority verdict of the premeditated murder of her husband Mohammed Dilwami, known to those who loved him as Amin. She was sentenced to at least 17 years in prison and will not be eligible for release until 2025.
That shit coming out. She gonna be out next year, y'all. She gonna be in these streets next year. So, I told y'all, like, there are risks when it comes to arranged marriages. So, the person who has been forced into a marriage may become trapped into a cycle of abuse with long-term psychological and physical consequences. Feelings of isolation, depressed mood, and on occasion, self-harm should be dealt with delicately. Victims will find it difficult to confide in their families and their family and their close friends. So here's the thing, guys. There are other risks. I'm gonna jump into those. Take this off of here. Some say that arranged marriages can be exploitative and violate human rights, especially women's rights. Forced marriage, which is when one or both spouses are married against their will, can have serious consequences. It can lead to abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, rape, and female genital mutilation. Mental health, victims may experience depression, irritability, low self-esteem, rage, frustration, sleep problems, and difficulty forming relationships. They may also self-harm, cut themselves, or misuse drugs or alcohol. And also, it can prevent girls from getting an education and replace it with adult responsibilities, such as pregnancy, before they are ready. Of course, this is if it's, forced marriage, child marriage, all of those things. But I just wanted to talk about arranged marriages today, even though that is a subset of it. At the end of the day, those are risks, even if they are consensual agreements. Okay. People don't know that somebody is abusive off the rip. Like, I mean, the parents might know a little bit, the parents of the person, but they might think, oh, well, once they get with this person, they're not going to be like that. Sometimes that's not the case. It actually gets worse. But sometimes the person can present this picture, or like they said, the family could want so desperately to arrange the marriage so they can up their social economic status. Why can't I talk today? They may want to up their socioeconomic status so badly that they will just arrange a marriage with a guy that they probably know has violent tendencies, and they just don't care because they want that money. The whole crazy thing about that whole Mahmuda and Amin story was that he just put a down payment on her. He didn't even pay the whole £10,000, and this chick killed him, probably before her family could get the rest of the money. So she just messed it up. Like, I know her family definitely disowned her. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, that's the risk. The rewards are included in the advantages. The reward of being in an arranged marriage. In a lot of cases, the family wins. If the husband pays a dowry, the family wins. They get some money. All right. The young lady, if she marries into money and he's actually a nice guy, she gets a nice guy that got money, and she didn't have to date or anything like that. Everything was picked out for her. So there are some rewards in that. You feel me? Also, the reward of knowing that the values that your family has is going to be carried throughout, and it won't be questioned because y'all share the same values and all of that stuff. So you don't have to ever feel like, oh, well, what if he don't like this, or what if he don't like that about me? It's all out on the table, honey. Like, he already know everything about you, and she already know everything about you, guy. So yeah, it's already known, it's accepted. They shook hands, they made an agreement, and y'all are to be married. So after all of that, what are my final thoughts? Well, my final thoughts is this. All right. First off, if you're still with me this long, thank you so much. You are appreciated. You are loved. If you tuned in at any part of this live stream, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you're watching a replay, I appreciate you so much. Make sure you hashtag replay in the comments and leave your thoughts below. Also, real quick, I have 3 IG pages. LaShia Star, LASHIASTAR. It's scrolling at the bottom there, so y'all see it scrolling along. Or maybe I should do it this way, because when I play the playback, it'll be going this way. So yeah. So you got LaShia Star, you got Think Different TV LLC, you got Tdtv's Pop Game Show. If you enjoy what I bring to the table, you want to get more edutainment, feel free to make a donation. It is accepted. I have a Cash App at LaShia Tdtv. The little $sign LaShia Tdtv is scrolling along. You have my Venmo. That's also scrolling along. I hope that y'all got a lot out of what was presented to y'all tonight. And now for my final thoughts. Arranged marriages are an acquired taste. They are. There are many pros and there are many cons. At this point, neither outweighs the other. What I will say is that sometimes other people have your best interest at heart, and sometimes they don't. And after a while, you know the kind of parents you have, you know the kind of, family you have, you know whether their intentions are pure or not. The good thing about just plain arranged marriages is that it can only go through if both of them say, okay, the people that are going to be married, if they have their seal of approval, then it's a go. And I like that. It takes the guessing work out of everything. You don't have to date. You don't have to swim in this pissy dating pool. I'm liking that part of it all. I think if my parents were able to sit down with my son's dad's parents before we ever got together, it might have changed a few things. It might have changed a few things. Because I think also the parents want to be able to get along with the parents of your significant other. So that's another pro right there, because the parents are working together to set this whole thing up, and they want the best for both of their kids. They're going to be the best of friends because they done set it up. You get what I'm saying? Or even if they don't get along, they just know that this is a business arrangement and they're going to do their best to follow through. So yeah, it really, I don't see a problem with it. It has been dying out. We're in 2024. It has been dying out in a lot of parts because people are starting to embrace their individuality a little bit more. But I think a lot of the problems that people have in their relationships, like divorce rate is like super high. But imagine if a lot of those marriages were arranged. Would the divorce rate be that high? Like, if there was like no fault divorce, which it looks like Project 2025 is, and if you haven't looked it up, look it up. Listen, I'm wearing my Black Voters Matter shirt. This is election year. Make sure y'all get out and vote. Look up Project 2025. The very first thing that was listed on the list of things that I saw was no fault divorce. And if that was a thing, if there was like no more no fault divorce, and you had to actually have a valid reason to get divorced, and then on top of that, people are arranging marriages, the divorce rate wouldn't be so high. The divorce rate wouldn't be so high. And also, I feel like it would bring a little bit more of a balance to the socioeconomic tree. So it's not women up here, listen, women up here supporting men, you know, making sure that they have everything and everything, taking care of them like they their kids. It wouldn't be men doing that either, because they'll be on an equal footing, equal socioeconomic footing. So it wouldn't ever be, oh, I'm taking care of you or you're taking care of me or nothing like that. Everybody's on equal footing. It was arranged that way so that that would not be a source of argument. I don't know, y'all. I'm leaning more towards, you know, maybe it should be a thing. Maybe it should be a thing. Maybe we should get back to arranged marriages. Maybe it should be implemented in the Black community. Maybe that if you know that you're going to be in an arranged marriage and that the value of that arranged marriage will go down if you were to not be a virgin or anything like, oh my gosh, it will be a lot more. It will take us back to Bridgerton. You watch Bridgerton, if you ever seen the show Bridgerton, that's kind of like how it is. Now, the whole Lady Dansbury thing, if y'all watch the Charlotte series, the Queen Charlotte series, that is gross. But going into you know, like Bridgerton, the very first season, you know, where they had to have these parties where they try to find somebody and everything like that. Well, at least they had a say, right? They had a say. It was certain people that they had to be in arranged marriages because, listen, you're old or you're not, like you're old or you're poor or you're not that great looking, and we gotta fix you up with somebody. And that's just how it was on Bridgerton. And I'm like, maybe that's something that needs to happen. Because me, I'm up there, you know, in age. I'm not old, but I'm up there in age that if I was if back in the day, if I was single like how I am now, it would have been looked down upon. They would be like, what is wrong with you? Plus, I already got a son. Oh, they would have had a field day with me. All right. They would have been like, nope, nope, nope. And it will humble a lot of you baddies out there. A lot of you baddies will be humbled, okay? And a lot of these men that think that their stuff don't stink, oh, you will be humbled as well, sir. Because you may be slinging that ding-a-ling, but if you ain't got that chain, your phone ain't never gonna ring, okay? The parents gonna be like, no, okay, absolutely not. You will be for the streets for real, because ain't nobody gonna want to ever marry you. But I think arranged marriages are not that bad. Now, if you talk about forced arranged marriages, that's bad, okay? But if you talk about just a matchmaker coming in, match you with somebody of the same socioeconomic background, cultural background, making sure that y'all have the same financial background, stability, all that great stuff, have at it. Please, please set me up. Okay? Take all that work away from me. Because again, the dating pool is pissy and I do not want to take a swim. All right. Well, guys, that's my final thoughts. I hope y'all got a lot out of what I've shown you tonight. Okay. I have an amazing Think Different TV music video of the week coming at you by CEO Wall called For Me. I had to think about it for a minute because I've been running my mouth all this time. But definitely stay tuned. The music video is coming at you. I hope you got a lot of value out of what I've shown you tonight. I hope y'all have a great night. All right. Enjoy the rest of y'all week. I will see y'all again next week. Make sure y'all tune in to, well, make sure that you subscribe. Like, comment, share, turn on that notification bell so that you could be alerted to any new episodes, interviews, anything going on with Think Different TV. Again, Think Different TV is not just the show. It is a brand. It is a network, and I have a full lineup, all right, which will be revisited at the end of this program. But again, Tdtv music video of the week is For Me by CEO Wall, part of 1600 Entertainment, and it will be followed by a financial tip by the great Dave Ramsey. And that's the end of the show, y'all. So I love you guys. I will see y'all next week. Let me get to that video just like this. Bye.
I'm coming in hot.
Hey guys, LaShia here from Think Different TV, which is every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Shout out to my Tdtv fam all over the country. And I have a Tdtv exclusive for you concerning my sponsor, Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly, alkaline with minerals, no chemicals, no additives. It is good and good for you. If you're going to hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. You can find Euphoria Water on IG under Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and want Euphoria Water delivered to your home, contact Captain at 267-707-8279. And why are we in my bathroom? Well, I want to show you my new Euphoria Water shower head. There you go. It's so bright and shiny and beautiful. It took me literally seconds to set up. I just unscrewed my old one and screwed this one on. It has several different settings. You can get the jet setting. You can do the regular shower setting. It is amazing. And also to know that I have the purest water hit my body. It's the greatest feeling. So make sure you make this investment because I am so happy that I made this investment. Call Captain at 267-707-8279 to put in that order, or you can hit them up on Euphoria Water on IG. I'm telling you, it's the best investment, the best thing I ever did.
Hey, this is your favorite niece, LaShia. You're watching Think Different TV, hosted by LaShia, and this is the music video of the week.
I wanna stay inside of you, yeah. I down on your knees. Break it down. Fucking for hours, baby, I want you go down. Fucking the shower, baby, you won't wait up. Got what you need. No, I got it. Got what you need. And you found it in me. Oh, I give you everything, money and diamonds. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want.
Here's the thing. People get credit cards for mainly one reason. So they can buy crap they don't have the money to buy.
Right.
And then they justify it going, well, I need to build my credit. That's what they say, because that's what rich people do. Rich people build their credit. Bull crap! All the rich people that we interview say they get out of debt and stay out of debt. And that's how they got rich. They don't pay payments all the time. Because, see, there's only one way to build your credit, go in debt, right?
Right.
Why? So you can build your credit. Why? So I can go into debt. Why? So I can build my credit. Why? So I can go into debt. Why? So I can build my credit. It's a dog chasing its tail. It's called the Great FICO Scam. So that's my. I haven't had a FICO score in 30 years.
Really?
Yeah, really. They said I don't exist. I'm not here. I'm off the grid.
Wow.
Because I don't have any credit. I don't have any. I have had no interaction with debt in well over 30 years of any kind. And so I have 0 on my credit bureau report, so I have a 0 credit score. They say it's indeterminable. I call it 0.
I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink
Uh-oh, it's a CEO showdown. Who stood on business on this episode of Think Different TV's Player Pass? Find out by tuning in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel. Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl LaShia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet.
You're the reason I